Laughter is required here on the Pirate Broadcast. I am so excited about having Jennifer on the show. She's actually traveling. She's getting hit with a few allergies, and we're going to laugh and talk about that and why she's so excited about LinkedIn and why I'm so excited that I met Jennifer on LinkedIn. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you today?
Good morning, Russ. I am spectacular today. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to have some fun.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So now you are in New Jersey today traveling, and so you're out and about, different environment. We might have the landscapers fire up the
leaf blower.
Leaf blower.
The timing on that is perfect.
Yeah. And so how long have you been in traveling? Are you out and about, or
I just got to New Jersey. I just got to New Jersey last Saturday night, and I'm just out here for a couple weeks. Actually, something that a lot of people may not know about me unless they've read my LinkedIn profile is that I used to live in New Jersey for 10 years. So in my prior career, I lived out here for a long time. So I have a bunch of friends out here, and I'm also planning to meet up with some people in person for the first time that I met through LinkedIn. So,
Perfect. I actually have friends in New Jersey, so it's kind of crazy. Yeah. I met you. It's been a while. It's been a little while, and we've actually been on a call before. And one of the things that I loved about what you were doing is transformational. And a lot of people don't understand what that actually means. And for myself, after I went through several changes in my life, and I lost a son, and some tragedy, and upheaval, is one of the things that I really wanted to travel through and grow into is, how do you become more healthy so you're not thinking destructive thoughts? How do you change who you are today so you can actually be the better person than you were yesterday? And one of the things that, some of the writings that you've done and some of the things you put out on LinkedIn really triggered my emotional side, and I wanted to meet you, and I wanted to follow up with you, and so we did. And now you're helping other people, and you kind of went through the same transformation personally, because we both have corporate backgrounds, and we've done the corporate thing, we've lived the corporate life, and we've chased the corporate the ladder and all of that goes along with it. So two things I want to ask is, walk us through how you help people, and walk us through how you did it yourself.
Wow, that's a loaded question. All right, that's a big one.
Let's get into
it. You know what? The best place to start would be starting with my own story and how I did it for myself, right? Because really, my own journey of transition a few years ago is what inspired me to do the work that I'm doing now. So several years ago, I had checked all the boxes off the list, right, of what society teaches us traditionally that it means to achieve success.
The expectations.
Exactly. I had chased after all the things outside myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of conditioned to believe that that's what would bring me the fulfillment and the joy that I wanted. And it wasn't until I had checked all those boxes off the list, and then the fog started to lift, right? There were no more promotions in my work. I had the house, I had the salary, the this, the that, the friends and all the stuff, but I still felt like something was missing. And one thing about me is that I always had to believe in the work that I was doing. And I lost that because I was no longer feeling challenged in my job. I was in a toxic work environment. And so really that is what led me to start searching, for those answers, and obviously realizing that, the answers are all within. All the answers that we need are within, right? So
they're right here.
Yeah, right. And so that was when, and that's been actually, because I've been focused on my spirituality and my personal development for about 10 or 11 years now. So that was when I discovered meditation. And meditation was really the first practice I implemented. It was a total game changer for me.
Yeah.
Allowing myself to have that space to go within really brought me so much clarity, and it really opened up just I don't know, like a whole new world for me. For example, I've always had gifts in the way of being really sensitive to other people's energy, which I think is one of the reasons why I was so good at working in retail for 23 years, right? I just was always good with people. But when I started making that space for myself, that clarity and those gifts and just so much about myself that I guess was buried for so long really opened up. And so anyways, there were many parts of my journey where I, was excited about growth and about discovering new things about myself, but I was also feeling really lonely, because despite all of the friends that I had and everything, a lot of people in my life thought I was, kind of like off my rocker because I chose to step down from my position. I worked a lot of years to get to where I was, and, the coaching industry itself wasn't what it is today several years ago. And so there were many times that I really felt like I was on my own island, but that whole time I just continued praying and meditating and just trusting that gut feeling was leading me to where I wanted to be, despite what everyone else, around me was saying. And so it was really that journey of moving forward, into the unknown that inspired me to help other people who are in a similar place, because I would have given anything at that point, if I knew that there was someone out there like me that, could essentially provide a bit of a shortcut, right? Because, as you know, transition doesn't always feel easy.
No, in fact, as we've often said on the Pirate broadcast, is that there are so many things that you have to feel uncomfortable about before you can grow outside your comfort zone. And, when you're, and the other side of that same coin is that when you're venturing into the unknown, it's a scary place. You really have to follow your intuition and your heart and know and understand that, hey, I am feeling like this is the right move for me right now, because I know what I have and it's not fulfilling me spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, any other way that I can imagine. So I have to feel like there's something else and I have to go in a different direction. And that's how I felt. That's, I was dropped out of corporate America. I'm the last one at the party. So I was booted out the door at closing time. And so that void had to be filled so that, I had to transform myself. And so with your circumstance, it was more like you were at the end of your line and you needed to do something else, it sounds like.
I was, and I should actually mention that I started feeling that call to make a change, but I didn't actually change my career and move out to Idaho, which is where I grew up, until, I don't know, I think it was probably a year and a half, maybe even 2 years later. What had actually happened is that I felt this call to make a change, but I didn't take action on it because I had fear around, I've been doing the same thing for so long. Could I do anything else? And fear about financial stability, fear about all of those things. And what happened was my mom was actually diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And she was living in Idaho at the time. And I was flying back and forth to try to spend time with her, to help my family and all of the other things. And there was this moment when I was sitting next to my mom's bedside, just giving her medicine, doing whatever. And there was something going on at my job, some type of drama that I felt like I needed to be involved in at the time. And there was a moment where it was like a light bulb came on. I found myself feeling like I needed to be involved in whatever was going on in my job versus putting my attention on my mom and being present with her during that time. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm not stuck in my life. And this is not how I should live, feeling like I have to choose,
right,
between the two. So that was really the beginning of the end. That was when I decided. My mom died shortly after that. I was really feeling pulled to move back out to Idaho to be closer to my family. But in order to do that, I had to choose between my career and my family, because at that time, working remote wasn't part of the company culture, despite how successful I had been or any of those other things, right? So I chose my family, and that was it. And at that time, I still didn't know that I wanted to start a coaching practice. I thought that I just needed to find a different job. And that's a whole nother story in itself. But
a future
that was
episode.
Really, exactly. It could totally be a future episode. But that is really where the change started to happen. But it was because the pain of where I was at exceeded my fear of moving forward. And that's one of the things I'm so passionate about, is helping people to not wait until you get to that point. Because when you feel a call to make a change, it does not go away. For anyone who's listening right now,
when it hits you, it's there.
Yes, it's just going to keep getting stronger and stronger.
Wow. I want to give a shout out to Deborah and Rick and Rachel and Leslie and Jessica and everybody that's joined in. And if you're listening, we're talking to Jennifer Spor on the Pirate Broadcast, and we're talking about transformation and some of the things that we've been through in order to get from point A to point B, and the emotional attachment that we have to things that really aren't a good fit for us at times, and how to get unstuck, and how to think about things as we evolve to the next level. Because I see it as an evolution. Jennifer, is that how you see it? Or because you were in it and you started the transformation before you left your corporate job. So it's almost like you're evolving, and then you had to make a decision about what direction you wanted to go, and create a plan for that.
Exactly. It definitely evolved. And I believe that we're eternal students, and a lot of times, especially when you're at a crossroads like that in your life, in order to figure out how to move forward, you have to take an action without seeing the whole path ahead. And as you said, it evolves as you take one step, then the next one falls into place, and then the next one falls into place. But you have to keep taking action, just trusting there's a way, even though you don't see it.
Yeah, you may not be able to see the top of the stairs. You just have to keep climbing them, right?
Exactly. Just keep going and keep trusting. Faith and mindset is everything.
And Doug Thompson mentioned that unfortunately it takes pain to get some people out of their own comfort zone.
Absolutely.
And that is so true, Doug. I've experienced that more than once. So it's like the pain of staying exceeds the pain of leaving, right? So tell me about where you are today and how you're reaching out, because I know that you've had some experiences where you've done some workshops and helped some other people, and I know that the best place to get a hold of Jennifer right now is log in, get a hold of her LinkedIn profile, and track her down that way. She's very approachable. I love that about you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having the conversation and being here today and sharing some of the gifts that you bring to the table. And this is what I love about LinkedIn is this is what it's all about, is being able to, we all have a gift and we're all sharing this gift. So talk a little bit about what you're doing now and who you're helping, so people understand a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I've been doing transformational coaching. Okay. And when I talk about transformation, it is changing, but it's really about remembering who you are, because what I teach people how to do is to find their own power, how to be empowered, how to be confident in taking those unknown steps forward in their life. So I attract a lot of people who are essentially who I was a few years ago, at a crossroads in their life, in some type of leadership role in their career. They've checked off those boxes. They're feeling called to make a bigger impact, but they feel overwhelmed or scared to move forward, or they just can't see how to get from here to there. And that's what I do, is I help them figure that out. So a large part of the transformational work that happens is anything that's blocking us or holding us back is the result of a belief. Okay. And it's important, so important, to identify the root cause of those beliefs and put the right practices into place on a regular basis to shift them, right? I always say that if you don't address the root cause of what the problem is, that it's like putting a Band-Aid on something that needs surgery, right? So I'm all about helping my clients, with a cure. Yeah. And so that's the initial part of the work. And concurrent to that, they start naturally receiving clarity in their path, right? Yeah. So then I'm also teaching them how to tap into their own intuitive abilities, because everyone there's the leaf blower. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Okay, good.
See, your intuitive ability said that there was going to be a leaf blower here.
No, actually, it was funny. Right when I started talking to you before we jumped on live today, I saw the guy outside and I thought to myself, oh, that's just perfect timing. That's just great. So anyway, I then teach them how to tap into their own intuition, because everybody has it. But what happens is that, especially in today's day and age, right? There's so much noise. Social media, we're on the go all the time. And it's so important to learn how to make that space for ourselves and to recognize how we receive that guidance. And when you're able to tap into your higher self, to tap into that instinct, it brings massive confidence in decision making and being able to take decisive action in your life. And so then from there, I also help people with the more practical side of making our dreams come true, right? Is that you then take that vision and put that into actionable goals that will help you to manifest what you want.
Well, one of the things that fascinates me when I think about, what you want or what you're doing in life is that beliefs are based on history. They're based on your prior experience. A lot of times is I have had this experience and I believe that I am X, right? And when you like you mentioned, when you quiet things down and you can meditate and imagine the future and you can imagine something else. I introduced my son to a sensory deprivation tank this weekend, so I went floating, and it's amazing to think and just be there with yourself, and just take the moment to kind of get centered and understand, okay, I can think different thoughts. I don't have to think about, okay, what's happening with this and that and this and that, and, everything around me. I can just think about anything or think about nothing. And it just, that change in mindset about, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to be? Where do I have to go? And then when it's quiet, you can imagine different thoughts and you can imagine different outcomes. And it's just, I don't know, I'm still going through it every day. It's like a new day for me. So
every day is a new day, right? I mean, I go through it too. I mentioned earlier that I believe we're eternal students, and I do. I mean,
I love that.
Everybody is on a unique journey, and there is always a next level. We're never done learning.
No. I Well, I've always been a student, and I love learning new things. And there's a balance, because I was talking to some friends the other day, and it's like, okay, is my education becoming a way of procrastinating against what I need to do when I actually need to do it? And I think that there's two sides of that, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it, because one side, people say I need to be passionate about it, and if you're passionate about it in a healthy way, you're looking at it as, okay, take the emotion away of it, and add, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to do this systematically. I'm going to build systems around what I need to do in order to accomplish my longer term goal. And then the passion with the emotional side, emotions go up and down. So being neutral in your emotions, and I think we talked about this with Karen Beatty, is when you're neutral in your emotions and you're still focused on your goal, and you know what actions need to be taken to get to the next step. I think it's beneficial for progress, because if I get up and I don't feel like doing something that needs to be done in order to move me forward, then I feel worse tomorrow because I didn't do it today, right? And so that can compound the problems you face in the future. And I'm thinking, okay, if I just get very systematic about what I do, and I'm passionate about the results I'm getting, then I have to make progress every day. And I go back and forth on this, and I think about it a lot. And I like systems to where I can say, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z to get this done. And then the other days I go, I'm burnt out. I just want to take a break. So it's like, I don't know if there's a right answer or a process, but I'd like your thoughts on that. So.
Well, we can be passionate about something and be inspired about something, but still not feel like doing it sometimes.
Good point.
It requires discipline.
Yeah.
So it's great to feel joyful. And I know, right? There are no shortcuts, okay, buddy? No.
It's like, if you want the work done, you have to do the work, right?
Yes, I've learned this the hard way too. I'm so glad that you brought this up, because this is a thing, okay, with a lot of people. It does require discipline. Mm-hmm. We can be passionate about what we're doing, but have days that we don't feel like showing up, but we have to make ourselves show up. And it can be very subtle, because what's happening on those days that we don't feel motivated, it is our smaller self, right? Our old self that is trying to keep us playing small.
Yeah.
It's like it's fear. And it could be fear of success, right? Or just fear of the unknown. Because if I take this step and start doing live videos or speaking events or whatever it is, then I don't really know what's going to happen, So what's the difference if I just wait one more day, or sleep in an extra hour, or do my first live video next week instead of this week? It's very subtle, and then it creeps in. And the next thing you know, it's like 6 months later, and you've not accomplished what you wanted. So it is discipline.
Yeah. And I think, and that's one of the things that I've discovered about myself in the last, couple of years is, it doesn't require your time to create value. You can create value in a lot of different ways, and it doesn't, it's not necessarily like you have to punch a clock to create value. You can create value in a lot of different ways. And then also, it's like self-care. You have to make sure that what you're doing is bringing joy, because it's so much easier when you can enjoy what you're doing along the way and producing results, and you can see progress, and even a little bit of progress. It's like, okay, I didn't do what I needed to do today. However, I did something to move me forward, and I have gratitude for that. Every day when I wake up, I have gratitude. It's like, I have gratitude for the lights on. I have the water's running. I got people that love me and people that care, and I have LinkedIn and Jennifer's in a show, and it's like I have all the gratitude in the world. I'm serious. It's really
Yes, it's so important what you're saying. Gratitude is so important, and looking for evidence of progress. I just had this conversation. I don't know if I was I was telling someone this in a class I taught just the other day. Yeah, you have to look for evidence of the process, because it's the little steps that add up to the big results. And hey, you know what? If you're not disciplined one day, so what? Every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. We have control over our thoughts, emotions, and our actions, and it's never too late. We can always make a different decision. There is no textbook for the right or wrong way to live life. There is just your way.
And that is the entire point of the Pirate broadcast, because I've been all over the map, and it's like I have thousands of questions, and one answer will trigger 1,000 more, right? And the whole point is forgive yourself for the things that you don't do or do, and have gratitude for the progress that you've made, and make sure that you find, I love that statement, find evidence that you're making progress. Look at that, focus on that. Don't focus on what didn't happen, focus on what did happen and the things that you can do to improve who you are today compared to who you were yesterday. And I think that's truly the gift that you can give yourself every day. And it's just amazing that we can be here on this platform, sharing this with the LinkedIn community and doing something positive to bring somebody something that will trigger a smile once in a while.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So thank you, Jennifer. I know our days are busy, and I thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. And as we go out in the world and help other people, get a hold of Jennifer on her LinkedIn profile. Reach out. If you're not connected, connect with her. She's a gift and a blessing in the world. And I truly appreciate you, Jennifer. And thank you so much again for being here. And on the next Pirate broadcast, we'll be sharing someone else that's exciting, and we'll share a new story, a new something. We'll be sharing something next time. So
something good, that's for sure.
Something good.
Russ, I appreciate you, and thank you for all the light that you bring to the world, for doing this, for just doing all that you do every day, for your smiles.
Well, as you know, and I wrap up this all the time, is kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day.
You too. Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.